Hello everyone, Dr. Maja here. As I speak to you today, the world is bedeviled with the coronavirus. The World Health Organization has declared it a pandemic. Most countries consider it to be a national disaster, and they've since ordered lockdowns. It is challenging the medical system as we know it today. We currently don't have a solution and a cure to the coronavirus. It is challenging the way that we have socialized because we are now being asked to self-isolate, to socially distance, and not to greet people as we are accustomed to. It's challenging our belief systems as well. And it is challenging the world of work as we know it. For those companies that have not embraced technology, you'll notice that it's virtually difficult to work, especially when there are lockdowns. But one of the things that's clearly coming out is that people are afraid. People are afraid. People are afraid. People are afraid of contracting the disease. People are afraid that their loved ones are going to be infected and affected. People are afraid that there are no medical facilities to curb the coronavirus. People are afraid that their means of survival is threatened by the continued lockdowns that are there. People are afraid that an economic recession is looming. So there's fear everywhere. I thought it would be good for us to interrogate fear from a biblical perspective so that we know how to handle fear that has so gripped our hearts in the shortest possible time that we have interacted with the coronavirus. Now, when you look at the dictionary definition of fear, it basically means that it is an unpleasant emotion caused by the threat of danger, pain, or harm. So the dictionary defines fear as an emotion. But when you read through 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, it says that God has not given us a spirit of fear or timidity, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Now, from this particular biblical definition, fear is not depicted as an emotion, but it is depicted as a spiritual force. It is essentially called a spirit of fear. And one thing that comes out of it is that God has not given us a spirit of timidity. And the natural question obviously that comes there is, if God has not given us a spirit of timidity, then who did? Allow me just to share a few things today about fear that will just help us unpack what this whole fear issue is about. You will notice that there are two kinds of fear that are there, which the Bible also basically amplifies. So the first kind of fear that you will find is called healthy fear. Now, when it comes to healthy fear, you are looking at issues like the fear of the Lord and the fear of the fear that we are born with. For those that have studied a bit, they understand that we are basically born with three kinds of fears, namely the fear of bodily harm, the fear of a loud sound, and the fear of falling. These are fears that we are born with. Anything else that is found outside these three fears is basically acquired through life experience. And I refer to that as unhealthy fear. And I'll talk about unhealthy fear a lot tomorrow, but you realize that it normally happens where you move away from fear as an emotion to fear as a spirit or as a spiritual force, and that's exactly what 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 is talking about. So my questions to you today are: what are your fears? What are you scared of? And is that fear a healthy fear? And if that fear is not a healthy fear, I want you to do this affirmation with me. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. And I'm not afraid. God bless you. We'll continue with this conversation tomorrow.